Yes, yes. That's not a bad Megatron from Beast Wars, isn't it? That was always his thing. Yes. So, Beast Wars Megatron looking so cute. He looks adorable. To think he did such spectacular stunts with such little feet. What movie was that quote from? This looks super fun. Cup Noodles, once again, coming at us here with the Lasercat Steel Beast Land Q version, Steel Beast General Dinosaur King, open air. This is just a word salad here. There you go. That was the end of it. It's called everything except Beast Wars Megatron. I don't know if it is just trying to avoid using the copyright name, or, if it is an official product and it's just not listed here because it's just a Mandarin word salad. But no, it's listed here as Steel Beast General. So clearly not official, but I love this. It's a kind of Blockies type design, that Blockies cartoonified chibi sort of look. But I love it with the little snappy T-Rex mouth. That looks really, really fun. All right, bravo, third-party company. You put together something pretty fun looking here. Yes, yes. Folks, there is still time to get your videos in for the Model Behavior Christmas special. Just email me at davidsmodelbehavior@gmail.com a 60-second video of you telling me your name, where you're from, and what your action figure of the year is. Send that over to me, ideally filmed in widescreen, landscape kind of format, so it looks better on YouTube. Then you can be a part of the Christmas special. It's my favorite video to make every single year. I've got a whole bunch of submissions already, but I want a whole bunch more. So yeah, if you can get that video over to me as soon as possible, we can all be a part of the Christmas special together, and that personally is the favorite present that I can ask for. And speaking of loving things, holy cheese and crackers. I thought that this was a Combatants Fight for Glory figure. I thought this was going to be a partner for the Berenice figures, but no. This lady here is from a whole different company. This is Penguin Studios, I believe. I want to get it right, but there's a lot of Chinese names, translations, all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to give you what I got. That's what I do every episode. I always give you everything I've got. Can you tell? It's exhausting to watch. So Square Inch Studios, 1/12 scale, Western fantasy, demigod race gladiators. Okay, so I guess that's the line. Demigod race gladiators. It might be controversial, but I'm a firm believer that thick thighs save lives. And this lady is going to be saving lives left, right, and center. I know a few people who watch this channel who, much like me, are going to be slightly in love with this figure. And rightly so, because you know what? In this tough, mean, workaday world, we deserve some happiness and some light, fun nonsense. And that's what this is, but it's not nonsense. This looks beautifully constructed. Until we have it in hand, we don't know. I remember seeing this, or seeing pictures of this from Shanghai Wonderfest, actually. But yeah, as an addition to your Gladiator gallery of characters that you might be building up with Combatants Fight for Glory, imagine this lady facing off with the Rhinotaur or some other big monster. Hoorah! Yeah, I think potentially a lot of people's 2026 figure of the year. And with all the removable gear and the different weapons, the amount of customization you can do with this. Sorry, I'm just kind of gushing over this now. This might be my new favorite thing. Blockies are going to give us the Dark Knight of the future. It's Terry McGinnis, Batman Beyond. It is Terry McGinnis, isn't it? Yes, yeah, that's his name. I'm going to stick with that. I'm pretty confident in my unconfidence. But we are getting this Batman Beyond. And Batman Beyond is a funny one because he has one of the sleekest, most plain suits. It's literally just black with the bat symbol. And then every time we get another figure of him, the companies want to put their own spin on it and zhuzh it up and throw more gubbins on there. And sometimes it's like, dude, don't mess with perfection. For Blockies, I kind of get it. Because Blockies are model kits, so we want things that are going to be more intricate. So when you're assembling them, there are actually more parts and pieces to stick together and then create the final thing. So I dig that. And also, me personally, I quite like the complicated designs. It's like the Revoltech one as well. I think that's my premier Batman Beyond figure because of all the gubbins going on there. I'm a sucker for gubbins, and it seems like Blockies are doing a similar kind of design aesthetic. And honestly, Blockies, it's crazy. They're doing everything from Transformers, Marvel, DC, and a whole bunch of other franchises as well. They're just kind of like parking themselves on every franchise, like they're buying up every little property on the Monopoly board. But hey, when they make model kits this fun, you can't really be mad about it. 52 Toys have revealed some more pictures and details for their upcoming Street Fighter figures, and okay, you got my curiosity. But you don't yet have my attention, because right now, Street Fighter, it's a tough market, because Jada, they're crushing it from one side, and then Storm Arena, they just kicked the door in and made themselves at home. So 52 Toys are like, hey, is there room for me? I don't know, lads. You're going to have to bring something pretty impressive, because looking at these pictures, they're okay, but it's kind of hard to judge them too much because they look very plasticky to me. Like, this looks real shiny. So, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see them in hand. What they have done that does make a lot of sense is go in the direction of Street Fighter 6. Because let's face it, Street Fighter 2, that's covered. And Street Fighter Alpha, it's the only way you can say that name, that's being well taken care of with Storm Arena. So go where they ain't is good business advice. 52 Toys, they're going for Street Fighter 6, and they look interesting, but I'm going to reserve judgment. Oh, Hiya Toys Godzilla, one of my favorite Godzilla designs from Godzilla GMK. This is probably the most demonic version of Godzilla. Different origins for the character depending on what continuity you go with. This is the Godzilla that is straight up assembled of all the vengeful souls of the lives lost during the Second World War. That is an instrument of destruction right here, and it's just the coolest, most badass look. It's not my favorite. That's the big dude behind me, because the one thing this design doesn't have is any soul in the eyes, because that's the whole point. They're just these white, demonic eyes, which look terrifying, but I like a bit more cuteness and cuddliness to my Godzilla. But the amount of articulation in this Hiya Toys figure as well, looking at this video, I mean, like I said, I love the Mezco one behind me, but he's pretty much like 5 points of articulation. There ain't much to it. Whereas this from Hiya Toys, I mean, granted, he's much, much smaller, but he's lovely. I think this looks like one of the absolute best Godzillas we've seen. Makes sense that it's from Hiya's exquisite line. I could be tempted by this. Also from Godzilla, but this time Godzilla X Kong, New Empire, we're getting Tiamat. I've still not seen New Empire. I love the old classic Godzilla. The new ones, I don't dislike them, but I never really feel the urge to go and fill in that gap in my movie viewing history. Maybe one day. But then again, I didn't see it on the big screen, so I'm probably going to end up watching it on a plain screen and then being like, well, this isn't very good. Yeah, you're not really watching it how you should do, Dave. But Tiamat looks pretty impressive once again from Hiya's exquisite line. Does look very pretty. A little bit more expensive though, but I guess there's a bit more figure there. So this is going to be $69.99. Let's just call it $70, shall we? And going to be released around about, got a little bit of a wait for it. It says here it's going to be the first quarter of 2027. So there you go. You can start clearing some kaiju space nice and early. From Four Horsemen Studios, we are getting Lieutenant Holiday. That is what LT stands for, isn't it? Either that or Lawrence Taylor. But this is part of their collaboration with Toylanta. So just like last year, we had a Toylanta exclusive. This year, we got Lawrence Taylor Holiday. And it looks pretty cool. I like the fact that Four Horsemen, they've got Mythic Legions, so the high fantasy, they've got Cosmic Legions with the sci-fi, and now they're going a little bit G.I. Joe. It was the same with last year's release as well, and I like it. A bit of reuse, bit of kit bashing from what they've had before, and yeah, I think it's kind of cool. It's interesting that they haven't launched a full-on modern military G.I. Joe style line. Instead, they're just kind of like piecemealing these out a little bit at a time, a little bit here, a little bit there, but the combined might is something that looks kind of fun. And also, if you're not going to be able to get over to, is it Toylanta? Yeah, it is Toylanta. Toylanta 2026. So that's one to look forward to. But if you can't make it, you're going to be able to pick up some limited stock on the Four Horsemen website. Now, this is kind of interesting. Figureverse are doing a T800 from Terminator 2. Where if you just showed me the pictures, I would have gone, oh, that's the Mafex T800. Nah, this is Toyverse. So something a little bit different. I'm going to pull up some pictures, and honestly, looking at this Arnold face sculpt, no words. There you go. Not good for toy news. But I think the face sculpt looks fantastic. Arguably better than the Mafex. I've never been a huge fan of Mafex faces. Sometimes they absolutely nail it, and other times I'm like, it's not quite hitting the mark. But Future Warrior is what he's known as. I guess you can save money and put more money into the face sculpts when you're not paying for the license, because, pardon me, this isn't an Arnold face sculpt. This is the Future Warrior. But he happens to come with the Guns N' Roses as well. Gotta love that. Hey, I'm looking at this figure and I can't help but think, quite possibly, you could be mine. That's a Guns N' Roses reference. Forget it. Hey, Fred, we got ourselves some new action figures from Jada Toys. Figures? That should have been it. We got ourselves some new... No, I've lost it. Forget it. Jada Toys giving us the cereal mascot, Fred and Barney. I actually kind of love these. Kind of like their Chester Cheetah and some of the other ones that they've done. They just look perfect. They've absolutely three-dimensionalized... That's a word, isn't it? They've three-dimensionalized the 2D characters, and it works. I always thought, like, sometimes it looks a little bit weird when they try to do The Simpsons in 3 dimensions, like the overbites and stuff. It doesn't always kind of work. But Fred and Barney, yeah, I think this looks absolutely perfect. I love these guys. And I know Chester Cheetah was a big seller. That guy was a real hot figure a year or two ago. These ones, I can imagine being very much the same as well. We all grew up on Fred and Barney. Some of us who watch this channel are probably old enough to remember them selling cigarettes in their cartoon. Why, Fred, I do enjoy this nice smooth tobacco. It was a crazy time back in the day. I'm too young to remember that, but maybe some of you saw it firsthand. Holy moly, look at this big bad dragon boy. Is this something from Dragon Ball Z? Maybe? I don't know. I'm reading a translation of a translation, but let me just tell you what's on screen and we can try and figure it out from there, and I'll put some information below. So this, apparently, is telling us that pre-orders are open, apparently, for Blur Memory Studios 1/12 scale, which never really makes much sense for a monster. Like, well, how big is a monster? But 1/12 scale, Demon of Fire, Holy Master. That's what he's called. And he looks incredible. Really, really love this. The design, of course, is like a little bit sort of segmented, but it just, with the flay, oh, that's, yeah. Sorry, I'm kind of looking at this in real time here. The digitigrade legs, they look really cool. But then, like, the skin texture, kind of looking like flames licking over his body. Oh, suits you, sir. Oh, suits you, sir. Yeah, this is awesome. If anyone can identify what this is from, if it is Dragon Ball or some other anime, comment below and let me know. But just as a standalone bipedal dragon monster man, I kind of love this. Mondo Toys are gonna rule the darkness with their new variant Super Shredder. Of course, they've done Super Shredder before, but now he's the man in black. And he looks pretty wicked. Me personally, I would just want the original design. I love the Super Shredder design, because I am old enough to have seen that movie in the cinema, and when Super Shredder came out, I was like, this is the coolest thing I have ever seen. Can't wait to see this fight scene, and it's done. Well, that was an anticlimax, but Super Shredder still looked awesome. But if you've got the original and you want like a little bookend, then you can pick this one up too. Going to be releasing pretty soon, I think. The pre-orders are open now, and there's only 250. So it's pretty limited edition. So if he's not sold out already and you like the look of him, you better get over to Mondo Shop pronto. LPZZ, man, they're just showing off now. They're like, oh, we seem to have a little bit of momentum on our side. Let's roll with this, shall we? Another Batman for you. This time it's the Red Death, 1/12 scale, going to be released the first quarter of next year. Right around the corner. Between this and In-Art Studios, I know the scales are a little bit all over the place, but this looks nice, and this is implying that we're probably going to see a whole bunch more dark metal Batman figures. In fact, I know we're going to get some more because we saw them on display previewed at Shanghai Wonderfest. So basically, if you want just a crazy Batman display, well, LPZZ are going to have you covered. I had the McFarlane equivalent of this. That got me into McFarlane for a bit. I bought all the Batman secondhand. I bought all the Batman Dark Knights metal figures, and I liked them for a bit. And then I was like, these aren't filling my heart with joy. But if they were LPZZ versions, maybe. So looking from what we can see here, yeah, there's no further information. I assume pre-orders are going to be open pretty soon if it's the first quarter of next year. But yeah, with all the accessories, the unmasked face, the different hands, the diorama base. Yeah, this looks pretty wicked. McFarlane had their McFarlane toy show kind of reveal thing that they do. Kind of like the Hasbro Pulse streams, but honestly, not quite as zhuzhed up. I think they need to work on the presentation slightly. But he did have a whole bunch of things that he was unveiling, so I'm just going to rattle through these because you know we're going to get the full reveals pretty soon. So, let's see how fast I can do this. We've got, for the DC Collector's Editions, we got Black Hawk, Elongated Man, Cosmic Boy, Professor Pig, and Zatanna with Detective Chimp. Then, in the Marvel 1/10 scale statues, we're getting Spidey, Doctor Strange, Gambit, Lizard, and the Juggernaut. Then we're going to go over to the Page Punchers line, which honestly I still love because it's comics with toys, the way things should be. We're going to get the Flash. We're going to get that's the Wally West Flash, isn't it? I think no, it's the original Flash. Forget it. And then we're going to get Jay Garrick and also Green Lantern as well. Thank you everyone who yesterday told me how to differentiate the two Flashes. I just can't remember which name goes for which Flash though. I'm hopeless. Then in DC Deluxe, we have Bane. Sorry, I'm contractually obliged to do that. Then we have the Joker, and also looking kind of nice, actually. We got the Christopher Reeve Superman. I do like that. And then over to TMNT page jumpers. Yeah, go on. We've got the black and gray and green Leonardo, Michelangelo, and Donatello. They make up the team with one other fellow, Raphael. He's not the leader of the group transformed from the norm by the nuclear goop. That's the only thing that song gets wrong. Then finally, we've got the DC Collector's Edition, Batman 89 Comic Joker. It says comic, but Jack Nicholson, Joker. You know what? Either way, is this the first? Is this the first Jack Nicholson Joker, or am I going crazy? If it's the first one, then this one might be very, very popular. So if you're thinking about getting him, might want to keep your eyes out for those pre-orders. This is a big boy right here. For you highfalutin, hey big spenders, how is about this absolutely stunning Premium Collectibles Studio, or PCS to their friends, Krang statue, 1/3 scale. That's got to be like huge. That's big. That is a big Krang. Gonna have a big price too, but this, I said a while ago that what I love about the Ninja Turtles designs, along with all the villains, Bebop, Rocksteady, Shredder, is that they can be reinterpreted and recreated with such wide-ranging styles by different artists. And this is the most fun one, Krang, because artists can go hog wild with this design, and they've kind of done that here. This dude looks so gnarly, so mean, twisted, awesome. I dig it. Kind of wish I had a couple of $1,000 spare, but you know what? I'll admire it from afar. This makes me think, man, Michael Bay, why couldn't you have just done this in your movie? To be honest, why couldn't you have done anything? You had 2 Turtles movies, and hey, you know what? It's going to be a long time before we see another live action one. But Mutant Mayhem was fun. So, yeah, you take the rough with the smooth, I guess. But this looks absolutely stunning. Today's cosplay cover artist is Kamiko Zero. I don't need to tell you why this person is a fantastic cosplayer. I mean, Just look at it. The pictures speak for themselves. This is what I would love superhero movie costumes to actually look like. Just stop trying to make things look too real-worldy. Just take what are in the comics and do that. And have them look like that. And honestly, I'll be there opening night. But since that's not going to be the case, you might as well just follow her on Instagram. Today in Artist Alley, gonna highlight Requiem Instagram. This is one of my favorite new artists that I discovered because it's the bright, colorful, vibrant, bubblegum pop kind of style. I absolutely dig it. I think you might too as well. And folks, that does it for Good News for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you're a channel member, thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you're a Patreon supporter, thank you so much for supporting me on there. And if you're neither one of those, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Gang, if you're wanting to get, that's not a sentence. If you're wanting to get, stick with it. If you're wanting to get your videos in for the Christmas special, there's still time to do that. So you can email me at davidsmodelbehavior@gmail.com and I'll add this to the Christmas special. It's going to be another whopper episode. And yeah, I think that's it. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for everything. And until next time, keep displaying model behavior. On the half shell, they're the heroes for. In this day and age, who could ask for more? The crime wave was high, with muggings mysterious. All police and detectives are furious because they can't find the source of this lethally evil force. This is serious, so give me a quarter. I was a witness, give me a reporter. Call April O'Neil, and on this case, and you better hurry up. There's no time to waste. We need help like quick on the double. Have pity on the city, man is in trouble. We need heroes like the Lone Ranger when Tonto came pronto, when there was danger. They didn't say we'd